Yanmaya-vashamarti vishwamakhilam brahmadidevasura yatsattvadambushaiva bhati sakalam rajjau yatha he brahmaha yatpadaplavamekame hi bhamam bodhe sthitirishavatam Vandeham tamashesha karana param Ramakhyamisham harim Shri Ram Jaya Ram Om 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai Satgurunath Maharaj ki jai Hari Om. If you come on this side, it is more balanced for me. Both of you can come here. Goswami ji does one naming, He interprets or he defines Maya in a very unique way. He doesn't give complicated definition of Maya. Complicated in the sense which is long, which is difficult to understand. He says Maya is Main aru more torate Maya. I am this person and you are the other person. And these things are mine, those things are yours. This understanding, he says, is Maya. And what does this Maya do? It gives rise to one buddhi called as Bheda Buddhi. Bheda Buddhi means that understanding in which we see only differences. This is mine, that is yours. This is who I am, that is who you are. And that Bheda Buddhi makes sure that our attention is away from Bhagavan. So entire thing what Manthara has done to Kaikeyi is this one Bheda Buddhi. She was successful in convincing Kaikeyi that you are this queen and all others are different from you. Kausalya ji is different, Sumitra ji is different, and all of them want to make sure that you will not become the queen, Pattarani, and lot of other things she says. So this Bheda Buddhi is at the root of all sorrow. This Bheda Buddhi is that thing which stops us from recognizing Bhagavan. Kabir Das ji says, if there were one or two people, I could go and try to convince them. But what to do? This Bheda Buddhi, he calls it as bhang, some intoxicant. It has fallen in the well from which the entire village drinks water. So everybody is saying that only. The best thing is we should correct our Bheda Buddhi and then remain quietly in this world. Ek dui hui to unhe samajhaun. Sab jaga andha ke hi samajhaun. If there are one or two people I could convince, but entire world is like that, how can I go and convince everybody? There was one student who went to his teacher and said, I heard that in Upanishads, in Shastra, it is said, Bhagwan is Antaryami. He is seated right in everybody's heart. There is no person in whom Bhagwan is not there. If that is the case, why isn't everybody a sadhu? Why do we have people like Manthara? Why do we have people like Shakuni? Valid question, right? Bhagwan is antaryami. He should have, been successful in making everybody a sadhu. These gurus, they have their own way of answering. He said, recently the king had come to meet me. He gave me a parasamani. You know what is parasamani? Philosopher's stone. They say whatever touches that parasamani, it turns into gold. He said that king had given me parasamani. I have kept it inside. Just go and bring that parasamani. So this disciple goes inside, brings it out. It was kept in a metal trunk. Olden days, even now we have it. Grandparents and all, whatever valuable is there, they will keep in a metal trunk. It will have a lock. So that trunk he brought outside. And he was staring at that trunk. The teacher said, what is it? Something, you started thinking already? He said, yes. Because if this parasamani is something that whatever it touches turns into gold, why isn't the trunk into gold? How come it is an iron trunk? That trunk also should have been gold by now. He said, good, you're thinking in the right direction. Now open it. So he opens the trunk. And what does he find? That parasamani nicely wrapped in thick cloth. And it is kept inside. So then he takes it and then just touches that trunk. And it is said, parasamani could change any element into gold. And it changes into gold. He says, got the message? He said, yes. What was the message? He said, just like that parasamani was there in the trunk, but it was covered with that thick cloth. So this bheda buddhi, that is like this thick cloth. And what is the parasamani? Parasamani is antaryami Bhagavan. So just like parasamani can be there in that iron trunk, but iron will remain iron only. In the same way, antaryami Bhagavan can be there in each and every one of us, but unless we remove that bheda buddhi, it won't turn our mind into gold. Few saints like Goswami Tulsidas Ji, Mirabai, Kabir Das Ji, they were able to remove that one small cloth of bheda buddhi in our mind. Bheda buddhi means what? I am different and everything around me is different. This is mine, that is somebody else's. For transactional purposes, we need that. We cannot just live our life based on tattva. But as far as vision is concerned, as far as our acceptance is concerned, there it is said we should remove that bheda buddhi and allow Bhagwan to work through us. Bhagwan is right here, always waiting. And what does that parasamani indicate? If little bit of touch we get of Bhagwan's nature, this mind will never be sorrowful again. Maharaji would say this. Bhagwan's sparsha is like parasamani, he would say. Even little bit of mind turns towards the Lord and it can get a glimpse of his nature in whatever possible way. Through Shraddha it could be, through his grace it could be, through his compassion it could be. Find whatever thread we want to find. But if somebody can really turn towards Bhagwan, he says this mind is not going to be the same like before. Why did we discuss this? Because Manthara covered that parasamani in this bheda buddhi. With that, all of this she is able to accomplish, creating differences between Kaikeyi and all other queens, between Bhagwan Rama, who never thought ill about anybody. Even about him, she is able to create differences. Okay, so that portion we saw. Then we also saw about Kopa Bhavan. She goes into Kopa Bhavan. What was the purpose of that? Making one Kopa Bhavan inside over here, so that all our karmendriyas, our vyavahara is well protected, even when mind has lost its control. We have seen this several places. Damaha, this is the main quality. And then we saw Bhagwan's nature. When his childhood friends come to meet him, 5-10 people, they make groups, and Bhagwan meets them with same love, same compassion as he did even before. So that is his nature. In Ramayana, in all places, you will find Tyaga. Tyaga means sacrifice, is always given more importance than Satta. Satta means power. Dashrath Maharaj also, you saw, whenever Vishwamitra Rishi came, he falls at his feet. Janak Maharaj also, you see, they represent Satta, they represent power, and Vishwamitra Rishi represents sacrifice. So wherever Rishi Muni comes, they always say, may this Satta not bind us. So it is always under the blessings of sacrifice. So that also Bhagwan shows over here. Now Goswamiji has elaborated the next portion verbatim from Valmiki Ramayana and Adhyatma Ramayana. There also this prasanga comes, where it is said, Dashrath Maharaj had special affinity, special affection towards Kaikeyi. And that affection becomes his weakness. This is the main introduction. You see what he is going to do now, after 24th Doha. Pavan suni sakuche urau, bhaya basa agahuda paraina pau. Surapati basai baha bala jaake, narapati sakala rahai rukhataake. So suniti yare sagaya usukhai, dekhau kam pratap badhai. Sulakulis se agavani hare, Teratinath suman saramare. Sabhayan re supriya pahi gayav, dekhi dasa dukh darun bhayav. Bhumi sayan patu mota purana, diye daritan bhushan nana. Kumati kasi kubeshata bhavi, Anahivatu sucha janu bhavi. Jai nikat drupu kah mrudubani, Prana priya kehi hetu resani. Kehi hetu rani risani, parasat pani pati varai. Manahu sarosha bhuvanga bhavini, vishama bhati niharahi. Dhupasana rasana dasana baramara madharu dekhayi. Tulasi drupati bhavatavya bas kama kautuk lekhayi. बार बार कहराओ, सुमुखी सुलोचनी पिक बचनी, कारण मोहि सुनाओ, गजगामिनी निज कोप कर। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Main theme is Kama makes a person weak. You see how beautifully Goswamiji is portraying this. Kopa bhavana suni sakuche urau, bhaya basa agahuda paraina pau. Dashrath Maharaj comes to Kopa Bhavan and he gets to hear that Kaikeyi is inside and she is angry. And this king, who was so powerful, he is unable to put one foot in front. Means he is unable to walk just listening to this news. And who is Dashrath Maharaj? This was the chaupai I was searching the other day. Surapati basai bahabala jake. Bahabala means under the strength of his arm, Indra finds shelter. Surapati basai bahabala jake, narapati sakala rahai rukhatake. And all other kings who are there, they are always making sure that Dashrath Maharaj is in their favor. You know, the word Dasharatha means he could fight 10 chariots at once. That is one indicator of Dashrath Maharaj. In Valmiki Ramayana, it is given in that way. He could fight 10 chariots together. That was his valor. Giving all these indicators, you see what Goswami is saying. So suni tiyer isa gayo sukhai. Same Dashrath Maharaj, when he came to know that Kaikeyi is angry, he almost dried up. Dekho kama pratapa badai. Look at the power of Kamadeva, how he can take away the strength of such a person who is so physically strong. And again he continues. How was Dashrath Maharaj? His body was so strong, it could take the impact of all weapons. Sula means trident. Trishula, his body could take the blow. Kulisa means thunderbolt. Asi means a sword. So even if you are hit by a trident, thunderbolt, or a sword, his body could take that blow. But it could not take the impact of Kamadeva's flowery arrows. Te Rathinath Sumana Sara Mare. Rathinath means Kamadeva. Sumana Sara means flowery arrows. We saw the symbolic meaning of that. It is said the arrow has 5 heads. Means 5 sense objects. They will come and attack this person. Sabhaya naresu priyapahi gayahu deki dasa duku daru na bhayahu. There is so much of fear, so much of anxiety, all because Kaikeyi is angry. Nothing has happened. Only Kaikeyi got angry, and Dashrath Maharaj is having all these emotions, who is so strong. Now, previously we had seen Kopa Bhavan should have its own attire. What was Kaikeyi's attire? That he is writing over here. Bhumi Sayana. There are no furnitures there. She is sleeping or lying down on the floor. Patu Mota Purana. And for those queens and kings, being dressed up was everyday's thing. But now she is wearing old torn clothes. Mota Purana means old and very thick kind of rags she is wearing, and she is just fallen there. Diye Daritana Bhushana Nana. All ornaments thrown around, strewn around. That is how she is there in that Kopa Bhavan. Kumatihi kasi kubeshata bhavi ana ahi vatu sucha janu bhavi. Looking at her, it as though looks like she is giving indicator of Dashrath Maharaj giving up his physical body. Like that she was lying there. That is how Dashrath Maharaj sees her the first time. Jai nikata drupu kaham rudubani prana priya kehi hetu risani. Dashrath Maharaj has no idea what is going on in her head. So he just goes and, with very sweet words, he tells her, Prana priya kehi hetu risani. Tell me, why are you angry? Goswami is dramatizing. For play and all, script is also there, emotions are also there. All these are part of Abhinaya. It is one kind of Shastra. Shastra means it's a branch of knowledge by itself. You know what is Abhinaya? Abhi upasarga and Naya means to lead. Abhinaya literally means gesture. Whatever emotions we show on the face. In dance and all, it is used a lot. So Abhinaya means that gesture by which it takes you to the emotion of the heart. Abhitaha nayati. Abhitaha means whatever is the emotion in the heart, that gesture will lead you to that. So that is called as Abhinaya. So all this is Abhinaya. Different rasa is there. Kehi hetu rani risani parasata pani patihi nevarai. Dashrath Maharaj just goes and touches her hand, asking her, why are you angry? And out of that anger, she just puts his hand away. Manahu saroshu bhuvanga bhamini bishama bhati niharayi. And she's looking at Dashrath Maharaj like a snake, like a poisonous cobra is looking at its prey. Now Goswamiji, wherever he finds analogy, he'll hold on to it. He says that cobra is Kaikeyi, the serpent is Kaikeyi, and the two boons that she is going to ask, those are like the fangs of that cobra, the two boons, or the vasana of those two boons. The desire of those two boons, which has not manifested yet, those are like the two fangs, and the teeth, the two teeth of that cobra, that is the two boons that she is going to ask now. Do basana rasana dasana bara marama thaharu dekhai. And she is looking where she can go and bite, like that cobra. That emotion he brings out in Kaikeyi. Tulasi nrupati bhavatavyata vasal kama kautuka lekhayi. Oh Tulasi, look at this whole thing, Kama kautuka means Dashrath Maharaj, in spite of being such a great king, he is not getting the gravity of the situation yet. He just feels Kaikeyi is just angry. She'll be okay in some time. He just feels it is Kama kautuka. Bara bara kaha rau. Again and again, he's praising Kaikeyi. He's calling her Sumukhi, Sulochani, Bachani. One who is having beautiful eyes. One who speaks very nicely. All that he says. Karana mohi sunau. That is his only question. Tell me, why are you angry? And that she is not answering. She is doing all this abhinaya just to make sure that he promises in the name of Bhagwan Rama. So that she accomplishes in this doha. After 25. Panahita tora priya kehi kinha, kehi dui sira kehi jamu chahaliha. Kahu kehi rang kahi karao naresu, kahu kehi drupahi nikasa udesu, sakamu tora ari amara umari, kaha kita bapure naranari. Janasi mora subhau baroro, mantava anana chanda chakoro, priya prana sutta sarabasu more, parijana praja sakala basatore. Jauka chukahao kapatu karitohi, bhamini rama sapath satamohi, bihasi bagumana bhavati bata. भूषण सजहि मनोहर गाता, घरी कुघरी समुझी जिय देखो, बेगी प्रिया परिहरहि कुबेशो। यह सुनि मन गुनि सपत बड़ी, बिहसि उठी मति मंद, भूषण सजति बिलोकि मृगो, मनहु किराति निबंध। पुनि कहराउ सुहृद जिय जानी, प्रेम पुलकि मृदु मंजुल बानी, भामिनी भयउ तोर मन भावा, घर घर नगर आनंद बधावा। राम ही देव काली जुबराजु, सजहि सुलोचनि मंगल साजु। दलकी उठे सुनि हृदय कठोरो, जन छुई गयो पाक बर तोरो। ऐसी पीर बिहसिते ही गोई, चोर नारी जिमि प्रगति न रोई। लखहि न भूप कपट चतुराई, कोटि कुटिल मणि गुरु पढ़ाई। यद्यपि नीति निपुण नर नाहु, नारी चरित जल निधि अवगाहु। कपट स्नेहु बढ़ाई बहोरी, बोली बिहसि नयन मुह मोरी। मागु मागु पै कहूँ पिय, कबहु न देहु न लेहु। देन कहेउ बरदान दुई, तेउ पावत संदेहु। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Now these two dohas, the main theme is Kama clouds one's thinking. Previous one was talking about how Kama makes a person weak. Any desire for that matter. Once desire comes, this person feels that desire is making me strong, but actually speaking, that desire is making him weak. Not only that, it is clouding that person's thinking. He cannot remain objective about things anymore. Because these words that Dashrath Maharaj is saying, he would not have said as a king. Even from his dharma as a king, he would not have said these words otherwise. But now, under that spell, he is saying various things to Kaikeyi. You see what he says, huh? Anahita tora priya kehi kinha. O Kaikeyi, tell me, who has done this thing to you? Did somebody do anything wrong to you? Tell me the name. Kehi dui sira, kehi jamu chaha linha. Who is that person who has two heads? Means one head to spare. He knows that if he has done such a thing, that head will not remain anymore. Who is that person who has two heads and whom Yama has called? Kahu kehi rang kahi karau naresu. Tell me which ordinary person I should make the king. Means whatever you do, whatever you tell, I will do that. Or tell me whom I should banish from their kingdom. Which king is there whom I should banish from his kingdom? Kahun kehi nrupahi nikasau desu. From their kingdom, I will remove that king. Just tell me who it is. Sakau tora ari amari umari. Even if somebody is immortal, somebody has gained immortality, I will still go and finish that person. Kaha kita bapure naranari. What to talk about ordinary people? They are just like insects to me. You tell me, why are you angry? Who made you angry? Dashrath Maharaj is telling Kaikeyi. Janasi mora subhava baroru, manatava anana chanda chakoru. He says, you know my swabhava. Means I have some special affection towards you. You are like that moon for Chakora Pakshi. Means for me, you are like that moon. Manutava Anana Chanda Chakoru. Now you are familiar with these two birds. Chakora and Chakwa Chakwi. Two birds. Chakora bird only drinks or it nourishes itself from moon rays. Chakwa Chakwi example, if it comes, they separate because of moon rays. Chataka example, if it comes, it drinks water just looking at Sharad Purnima moon directly from the cloud. Okay, these are three different birds. So here is giving Chakora bird. I'm like that Chakora Pakshi and you are like the moon for me. Priya Prana Sutta Sarabasu More. Now he says, whatever support a king needs, all of that is at your disposal. First thing is life. This is my prana is at your disposal. Sutta, my son is at your disposal. Sarabasa means all wealth. That is yours only. Parijana praja sakala basatore. My relatives, my praja, everything that I have, all of that is under your control. Now imagine, king saying these words to his queen. That chaupai we should have dekho kama pratap badai. Jo kachu karau, kahau kapatu kari tohi. If at all I am having some deceit in my words, Dashrath Maharaj is saying, if whatever I am saying is untrue, bhamini rama sapata satamuhi. Then I promise in the name of Bhagwan Rama. Now Kaikeyi is saying, my Guru's words are working. Whatever Manthara had told me, I did it to the dot. And now Dashrath Maharaj is slowly coming to Bhagwan Rama. Bihasi magu mana bhavati bata. He says to Kaikeyi, just ask. Cheerfully ask. Don't have this anger and everything. Just ask me what you want. And please wear all your ornaments. Whatever abhushana you have thrown around, please wear it back. Look at the time. It's such an auspicious time, and make sure that you drop all your anger and this kubesha. यह सुनी मन गुनी सपत बड़ी बिह से उठी मतिमंत. Just listening to Dashrath Maharaj's words, Kaikeyi gets up. Why? Because she is understanding now he is falling under my trap. How did she feel? She felt as though a huntress was laying a trap for the deer. Deer, you know how they catch? It is said one of the weakness of deer is fragrance. Either they catch it through fragrance or they catch it through sound. Shankaracharya ji gives this example in Vivek Chudamani. He gives 5 animals and he says all of them had weakness for one sense object and they got trapped. What to talk about human beings who have weakness for all 5 sense objects? Means if they escape, it's a great thing. Getting trapped is natural. If they are escaping out, that is something to be appreciated. We chanted next one also, right? Yes. Now looking at Queen Kaikeyi getting up, Dashrath Maharaj feels little good. He feels as though she's getting back to her normal self. She is not angry with me anymore. Dashrath Maharaj feels that. Bhayau bhamini bhayau tora mana bhava ghara ghara nagara ananda badhava. Looking at this chaupai, it seems like Kaikeyi had told Dashrath Maharaj before that Bhagwan Rama should become king. Why? Because he's saying, whatever you wanted, that thing is going to happen now. You see that chaupai? Bhamini bhayamu tora mana bhava. Oh Bhamini, whatever you wanted, that same thing is going to happen now. There is so much of joy in this Ayodhya. Everybody is celebrating in their homes. Rama hi devu kali juba raju, saja hi sulochani mangala saju. Tomorrow only I am going to make Bhagwan Rama as Yuvaraja. So now please go and wear all your ornaments and get ready for this happy occasion. Now how did Kaikeyi feel listening to these words of Dashrath Maharaj? Goswamiji says, if there is a wound in which there is infection which has been formed and skin is very tight, and if somebody touches the wound, how that person jumps, like that Kaikeyi jumped. Dalaki uthevu suni hrudaya katoru janu chui gayavu paaka baratoru. How that person would jump if somebody touches that wound, like that Kaikeyi jumped inside. But she is so sharp, she is not expressing all her emotions right away. Because she knows if she expresses something there, Dashrath Maharaj will come to know. He will come to know that she has something going on in her mind and he will twist it right there. He will not allow her to ask her boon also. Aisi ya pira bihasi tehi gai. She is disguising her anger with a smile. Bihasi means smile, but she is disguising her anger. How? Chora nari jimi pragatina rai. Pragatina roi. Means if there is a thief, and that thief has just stolen something and all the villagers have caught him. Now the thief's wife cannot cry. Why? Because everybody will come to know that the stolen thing is over here and then both of them are related and they will catch hold of her also. So how she hides her emotions, like that Kaikeyi is hiding her emotion in front of Dashrath Maharaj. Lakhina bhupa kapata chaturai Koti kutila mani guru padhai. Kaikeyi had such a good teacher. Look at what Goswamiji writes. Koti kutila mani guru padhai. She had trained her so well that not even one mistake she is committing in that entire prasanga. Kaikeyi is not doing that. Why? Because she had a good teacher. That's why I was saying in the last class, if the same kind of steadfastness we can get for Brahma Vidya. That if teacher has said something, it cannot be wrong. If Shastra has said, I am Brahma, Shastras say dharmo rakshati rakshitah. If I follow dharma, that dharma will protect me. If somebody lives a righteous life, that righteousness will bring strength. We hear these things, but we still have doubt inside. What is the doubt? In today's world, all these values and all don't work. If at all there is one thing to learn from Kaikeyi, I think it is this thing. Faith in what has been told and having Shraddha. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we are not, what this physical body is. We are what our Shraddha is. Shraddha mayoyam purushah yoyat shraddha sa eva sah. Kaikeyi had Shraddha in Manthara. So she became like Manthara. That is the main point. Wherever we have Shraddha, this person becomes like that. So imagine if somebody can have Shraddha in Shastra. That if Shastra has said something, it cannot be otherwise. I just have to wait to see the validity of that Shastra in my life. This is what we chant. Satyam vadishyami, Rutam vadishyami, Satyam vadishyami. Rutam means what? It is true because it is said in Shastra. Dharmo rakshati rakshita is true. It might have worked for Yudhishthira. But Satyam vadishyami means I can validate that sentence in my life. That is all our sadhana is. That is what this journey is about. Okay. Why did we go there? I think Koti Kutila Mana Guru Padhai. That chaupai we were reflecting. Although this king, Dashrath Maharaj, was so good in politics, kings have to be very smart. There is so much analysis done over Dashrath Maharaj's speech. They say he was mitabhashi. He would speak only as much needed, not even one word more. In entire Ramayana, even that analysis is done. Several commentators are there. One of the commentators does that analysis. Such a great king, he could not find out what is going on in Kaikeyi's mind. Nari charita jalanidhi agadhu. In this Kaikeyi's charitra, it is so deep that even such a great king could not figure out. Kapata sanehu badai bahori, boli bihasi, nayana muhu mori. Out of deceit and lot of other emotions in her heart, Kaikeyi is going to speak now. How she is going to speak? She is smiling, but nayana muhu mori. In Hindi, it is easy to translate this. How is it done? Muh modkar hasti hui boli. I don't know how to translate in English, but all these are abhinaya. Emotions that will take us to the emotion in the heart. She tells Dashrath Maharaj, you keep saying magu magu. You keep saying ask, ask, but you never give anything. That is how you are. And you had promised me 2 boons before. And it looks like you have forgotten even that. And it is hard for me to get even those 2 boons that you had promised. You are just saying that you will give, but I doubt whether you will give me anything. Now Dashrath Maharaj says, why are you getting so upset? You know that I am forgetful by nature. So I just forgot those 2 boons that I gave you. You just remind me and I will give you. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? Thati rakina magahu kahu, bisari gayo, muhi bhora subhao. I am innocent. I am forgetful by nature. Why are you catching hold of that and saying that I will not give you anything? And these kings, Kshatriyas, they had pride. And one pride was about their lineage. So that famous Chaupai comes over here. He says, don't blame me unnecessarily. I will not go back on my words. Whatever I have said, I will promise that I give. Whatever I have promised, that I will give. Raghukula riti sadachali aayi, prana jahu, baru bachanu na jai. Raghukula riti, the lineage of Raghukula is such that even if we have to sacrifice our life, we will do it. but we will not go back on our words. Okay, this is the Shuddha Rupa of that Chaupai. Hai? Generally they say, Prana jai para bachana na jai. But it is, Prana jahu, baru bachanu na jai. It is from here only, huh? People quote, but it keeps getting changed. One generation by generation, by the time it reaches us, different form is there. Now this Chaupai is very beautiful. It's important for sadhana. Although Dashrath Maharaj is telling Kaikeyi, we can benefit from this Chaupai. Nahi asatya sama pataka punja. There is nothing which can bring us down like untruth. Asatya means untruth. There is nothing which brings a sadhaka down like this untruth. Means telling a lie. If somebody is a sadhaka, they should become very, very sensitive towards telling a lie. Whether other people know it or not doesn't matter. Antaryami Bhagwan knows it the first. Giri sama ho hi ki kotika gunja. He says, you put all sins on one side and one lie on other side. He says that one lie is more powerful than all those sins. Means that one lie is like a mountain and all the other sins, they are like gunja. Gunja means, some kind of a weed, intoxicating weed. You make a heap out of that. It is not going to compare to the weight of that mountain. So like that, you have all sins on one side and lie on one side. That lie is more powerful than all sins. That example he is giving. Now flip side of it, positive side of it. Satya moola sabha sukruta suhai. All prosperity comes in life, happiness comes in life, just by this Satya. Meaning what? If we are seeing the fruit of happiness in somebody's life, we should understand that the root of it is in truth. Sustained happiness, the root of it is in truth. On the other hand, if there is untruth at the root, that fruit is not going to last too long. Immediate result of asatyam is manas santapa. One lie we say, how many things we have to keep in mind? Oh, I told this to this person. I should make sure that this person also I tell the same thing. Meaning what? Immediate result of asatyam is dukkham. And another karma phala comes. One is drushta phalam. Another is adrushta phalam. That comes in its own time, in Bhagwan's own ways. Okay, so that is this asatyam. Veda Purana Vidita Manukai. It is said in Vedas. If you want particular reference, we should look at Mundaka Upanishad. We should look at Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter, and Manusmriti. 3 places they are mentioned. It is mentioned in more places, but these are few places that we are familiar with. What is said there is, see, all of us are seekers of truth, right? We are mumukshus. We are searching for satyam. So there, Upanishad Rishi says, if you want paramarthika satyam, we have to practice vyavaharik satyam. If I want absolute truth, I have to first settle down in transactional truth. This was the quality which the Upanishad Rishi saw in Satya Kama Jabala. Upanishad Ganga, have you all seen that story? There is one boy who goes to his mother and says, I want to learn Brahma Vidya. He says, go and ask your teacher. If you find one, go and study under him. So the teacher says, what is your Gotram? Because for you, if you want to come, I have to do Brahmopadesham first, and then only you can enter Brahma Vidya Adhyanam. So he says, I will have to go to my mother and ask. And mother says, go and tell your teacher that she doesn't know what is your Gotram. Only that much is said there. So he comes to Upanishad Rishi and he says, this is what my mother told me. He says, you are the fit student for studying Brahma Vidya. I will do your Brahmopadesham and you will get Brahma Vidya. Beautiful story is there, Chandogya Upanishad. Then what Satyakama Jabala does, that is the later part of that story. What a great Guru Bhakta he was. But main thing is, the main sadhana there is, Vyavaharik Satyam will lead us towards Paramarthika Satyam. And put it other way also. If in transaction I have some kind of asatyam, even in my dream, I cannot expect to abide in Paramarthika Satyam. Okay, this is that sadhana pointer. Now, Patanjali Maharshi in Yoga Sutra, he has given a lot of phalashruti. If this value you practice, you will get this particular result. For example, he says, if somebody practices ahimsa to the core, in speech, in thoughts, and deed, whatever natural enmity is there around that person, even in sworn enemies, they will give up their animosity. This Phalashruti he says. Ahimsayam pratisthayam vairatyaga. If somebody can have pratishtha and ahimsa, vairatyaga will happen around them. This is what Bhagwan Shankaracharya saw in Shrangeri. What did he see? The cobra was there and the frog was there. He said both of them are sworn enemies and they are together, which means some rishi has done tapasya over here. And it was which rishi? Shrungi rishi. Shrungagiri became Shrungeri. So ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidau vairatyaga. This is the sutra there, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Now what is the result for somebody who has established themselves in Satyam? He says, Satya pratisthayam kriya phalashrayatvam. If somebody can establish themselves in Satya, whatever they wish, that thing will be attained by them even without doing any action. Meaning whatever they want, that thing will come true for them. If they bless somebody, their blessings will be amogha. That he says is the power of Satyam. And if you want to see this Phalashruti, you flip your book, flip your page to third Doha over here in AyodhyaKand. You see what Vasishtha Maharshi says about Dashrath Maharaj. Found? Third Doha, Rajana Raura. AyodhyaKand only. Found or no? You see that Doha. Rajana Raura Namu Jasu Saba Abhimata Datar. Vasishtha Maharshi is telling about Dashrath Maharaj. Your name is so great, it will give people whatever they want. What is the greatness of Dashrath Maharaj? Phala Anugami Mahipamana Mana Abhilashu Tumhara. In general, what happens is people have desire and that desire chases the object. But in case of Dashrath Maharaj, object chases his desire. That is the Phalashruti there. How did that Phalashruti come? It is through his Satyanishta. Satya Moola Sabha Sukruta Suhaye Veda Purana Vidita Manugaye. All Vedas, Puranas, Manusmruti, they are praising this Satyam. And I am that, king who is in this lineage of Raghukula. So don't hesitate, you ask whatever you want. Tehi para Rama sapata kari aayi. Now he falls for her trap. He says, this promise, on top of that, I promise in the name of Bhagwan Rama. Sukruta saneha avadi ragurai. Sukruta saneha avadi ragurai. Bhagwan Rama, he is the embodiment of sadhutva, goodness, that is Bhagwan Rama. In his name, I promise you that I will give. Now Goswamiji, he uses metaphors in such a beautiful way. You see what he says. Bata drudhai kumati hasi boli, kumata kubihaga, kulaha janu kholi. Having established the words of Dashrath Maharaj, Kaikeyi opened the eyes of that falcon. Falcon bird those who tame that bird. Have you seen those birds which are made to sit on people's hands? They look like hawks. They make sure that the eyes of that bird is closed. Why? It has this tendency that whichever bird it finds in front, it will go and attack. So they make sure that its eyes are closed, and only when it has to attack a prey, they will open those eyes. And they will open the blinds, and then that bird will go and attack it. So Kaikeyi was as though taming that bird. And now, having gotten the assurance from Dashrath Maharaj, she opens the blinds of that falcon. Now, Dashrath Maharaj's desire to see Bhagwan Rama as the king, that was like a beautiful garden. And the happiness of all Ayodhya Vasis, he says that was like the bird, which is there in that garden. And Kaikeyi has opened up the eyes of that falcon, which is going to go and eat those two birds. Such a beautiful metaphor to express that emotion. Now she is going to ask the two boons. What does she ask? Sunahu prana priya bhavata jika, dehu ek bara bharata hi tika. So my first boon that I want is my son Bharata should become the king. That is my first boon. Magahu dusara barakara jodi, puravahu natha manoratha mori. This one boon you fulfill, and the second boon also you should fulfill and make me happy. What is the second boon? Tapasa besha biseshi udasi. Bhagwan Rama should wear tapasa vesha first. He should wear the robes of an ascetic. And he should become udasi, disinterested in administration. He should not come back and interfere in any political matters of Ayodhya. Udasi means that. Chaudaha barisa Ramu banabasi. And for 14 years, he should go in forest. On this one chaupai, several Mahatmas have written several pages. Why did she ask this boon? One thing they say is, tapasa besha, means she wants to make sure that even after coming back, Bhagwan Rama should not ask anything related to kingdom. Once he becomes tapasvi, his mind should also become like that. Means he should not come back and say, I want to become king again. Generally, once a tapasvi, they will start liking that, calmness of mind, peaceful atmosphere, forest is there. Now, we should not come back and again ask Bharatji for kingdom. And 14 years because it is said generally that is the time it takes for somebody to be well established. So Bharatji has to establish himself in Ayodhya. She wants to make sure that Bhagwan Rama is away for 14 years. What was the duration of Mahabharata exile? 12 plus 1. That is also the same duration. That Duryodhana also wanted that if Yudhishthira, out of sight, out of mind, if people of Hastinapura, they have to forget him, then Yudhishthira has to go for at least that duration of time. 13 to 14 years, by that time, everybody will forget. So with this in mind, there are several other reasons, but this much is good enough. Suni mrudu bachana bhupa hiya soku sasikara chuata vikala jimu koku. When he hears this second boon, a very different facet of Dashrath Maharaj's personality comes in front of us. Until now, Goswamiji said, look at the power of Kama. If Kama has power, Bhakti also has power. And what is the power of Bhakti? That Dashrath Maharaj shows after this point. That he loved everything in this world as long as they were in favor of Bhagwan Rama. The moment he hears Kaikeyi wants Bhagwan Rama to go away, he lets go of Kaikeyi. This is another point Mahatmas share, that don't only look at one side of Dashrath Maharaj's personality. He was the only devotee who gave up his life for Bhagwan Rama. That is how Goswamiji introduced also Dashrath Maharaj in Balakanda. So from this point onwards, he says, if you let go of Bhagwan Rama, I will let go of you. Although he's speechless now, that thing was like, see, now he's giving example of the chakwa bird. Suni mrudu bachana bhupahiya soku, sasikara chuata bikala jimi koku. The chakwa bird, once it gets moon rays, it is separated from that chakwi. Whole night they'll be separated. So that angst of separation, Dashrath Maharaj is feeling with the words of Kaikeyi. Now he's speechless, and it is as though that falcon, which was released by Kaikeyi, has come and caught hold of a sparrow. Small bird, this falcon comes and scoops over it. Like that it was for Dashrath Maharaj. Bibarana bhayav nipata narapalu, damine hanev manahu taratalu. King became so pale, it was as though this lightning has struck a palm tree. It becomes bare bones just when that lightning strikes. Like that, Dashrath Maharaj was. He's putting his hands on his head. Eyes are closed. And he's saying, what did I do over here? Until now, Goswamiji said, Saneha, this, one emotion of affection had taken a physical form. Now it is as though worry has taken a physical form. Means he doesn't say Dashrath Maharaj has worry. He says worry has taken the form of Dashrath Maharaj. Like that, he is sitting in Ayodhya now, and he is going to lament over this. He says, whatever desire I had, that manoratha which was in my mind, it was like kalpataru, wish-fulfilling tree. It had just sprouted, started giving fruits. And this Kaikeyi is like that elephant which came and crushed that tree. Now he's hoping that she changes her mind. He says, Kavane avasara ka bhayavu, gayavu nari biswasa. She has destroyed this entire Ayodhya, and I have lost faith in her completely. Gayavu nari biswasa, joga siddhi phala samayojimi, jatihi abhidyanasa. Goswamiji's analogies, they are so pertinent. He says, if there is some yogi who has done a lot of tapasya, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, all these sadhanas are given and siddhis are given. Anima, garima, becoming light, walking on water. All those siddhis are possible. One who can control elements, that person can have those siddhis. But the only catch there is, if right at the moment when the result is supposed to come, if somebody gets some kind of asmita means pride. There are pancha kleshas, 5 things which can obstruct the person. One is called as avidya. Avidya is the root. Bheda buddhi you call, or thinking ourselves to be other than consciousness. He says that is avidya. Then comes asmita. I am this person, I am that great yogi. Ragadvesha. In this entire Himalayan mountain, there is no yogi like me. Some kind of pride, some raga, some dvesha. Once that comes, this entire sadhana that he has done, the result of that is lost. Just like that avidya makes that yogi lose all his siddhis, like that Kaikeyi made Dashrath Maharaj lose all those things that he had earned for himself. Joga siddhi phala samayojimi, jatihi abhidyanasa. Okay. Now Kaikeyi is elaborating one verse in Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasha. If somebody gets angry, one first thing that happens is it completely clouds their mind. What they have to say, what they should not be saying, that viveka, that person loses. Now Kaikeyi is going to use very, very harsh words to Dashrath Maharaj, and saying so many things about Bhagwan Rama, about him, about kingdom, Kausalyaji, and so on. Okay. That we'll see in the next session. अगणित गुण गण भूषण रामा, आश्रित वत्सल जय जय रामा, अयोध्यवासी सीता रामा, आपद बांधव जय जय रामा, दशरथ नंदन श्री रामा, दशमुख मर्दन जय जय रामा, कौसल्या सुखवर्धन रामा, कामित फलदा जय जय रामा, पाप विमोचन श्री रामा, वट्ठाभि रामा जय जय रामा, जानकी वल्लभ सीता रामा, जय रघुरामा जय सीता रामा, वानर सेवित श्री रामा, वारिधि बंधन जय जय रामा, हनुमत पूजित सीता रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा, रघुपति राघव राजा रामा, पतित पावना सीता रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय रामा, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हरि ओम।